Hey everyone, welcome to the RotoGrinders Morning Grind podcast. I'm your host, Stevietpfl. It's Friday, it's September 22nd. It is 2023. We have a nice 11-game baseball slate to talk about here on today's podcast. Joined as always on Friday by my good buddy Will Priester, ChiefJustice06. Chief, what's happening, my friend?
Nothing much, man. Doing good. Glad to come on and talk with you. Got Brian in the building, Yao Pete in the building. So thanks, guys, for joining, and hopefully we can provide some good content as we get down to the dog days of MLB.
Yeah, I mean, MLB season getting to that point where it's like, all right, what's going to happen with the playoff run, and just watching Deebo Samuel just run through like 5 tackles. So that was wild just now. Sorry, got distracted, but
he picked up his yards too, which is
yeah,
great.
he did.
One more catch, Deebo, and but he got his yards, so we're good there. I'm set on that one.
There you go. So yeah, I mean, 10 more days left of the baseball season, so standings really going to be something we hammer home next week, and like trying to get like teams playing for something, players that are trying to audition for next year in certain roles. I mean, just it's that fun time of the year where there's just so many ways to potentially look at this slate, every slate really. So yeah, let's talk about it. Will, we got, like I said, 11 games to break down here. What's up, YouTube? Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday night. I had a great day. My little man turned 4 today. I can't believe he's 4 already. And we had a great day with him. So getting started here with Arizona at New York facing the Yankees. This game is currently at an 8 total. Yankees, a 160 favorite here. Fiat and Weaver facing off against each other. Will, I'd be lying if I didn't say that I had some slight interest in Brandon Fiat here. He's really not pitched terribly. This is a very right-handed heavy offense. I mean, looking at like Fiat's numbers, like way better against righties than he is against lefties. Like, am I crazy here?
I mean, I think what it is, if you think about the Yankees on paper, you don't want to mess with them. Like, I know, Judge being there is going to be, a problem. He may strike out, but he's a big threat to send the ball out of the park. But this lineup has been a patched up lineup all season, or most of the season, just injuries. I don't hate that call. I don't. He's not at the top of my list, but on a slate where, once again, offense is going to reign supreme, I don't hate taking a shot on him.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at his monthly numbers, right? Over the last month, 27% Ks, 1.5% walk rate against right-handed hitters. They just can't get very left-handed against him. Again, don't necessarily love the ballpark, and like you said, you're still getting Torres, Judge, Stanton, but they're also, I mean, Judge has a 29% K rate, Stanton has a 32% K rate, so like we're getting some strikeouts for strikeout upside for Fiat here. So I think overall, just like given the price, 6,800, there's bats to pay up for. We're going to talk about plenty of bats on the slate for what it's worth. So I think Fiat's interesting. Luke Weaver, coming over to the Yankees here recently. Any interest here for Luke Weaver against Arizona?
No.
Yeah, just no. I mean, a guy that really showed some upside and just hasn't shown it a lot this year, I think, is the nice way to kind of put it. I mean, moving pieces hasn't really shown like the upside that we saw early in his career and even last year a little bit. So gonna pass on Luke Weaver here. Looking at his numbers, he's really struggled with lefties
all season too.
Yeah,
it's been
all
rough.
year. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is, given like we're in Yankee Stadium too, I think this is a great spot for the lefties that cracked the lineup for Arizona today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you 100%, and I think they've got one big lefty in Corbin Carroll who, while he's 5,600 today, he's going to be well worth I think that the cost of admission, and this is it's just a good spot, like you said, overall for this offense. Marte, switching it up. My boy Perdomo should be at the bottom of the order. Like I like this team, Stevie, and they're not that expensive. Like outside of Carroll, we don't really have anyone over 5K, so this is a really good stack today to put together.
Yeah, and I mean Carroll might be like one of the top hitters on the slate today.
Yeah.
Like overall hitters on the slate, given the ballpark and the matchup that he is in on this one. So moving on, we have your Atlanta Braves. My bad. Do you have any interest in the Yankees bets?
Not really.
Totally just
As crazy that sounds, not really. I mean, we can always play Judge. Stanton looks lost at the plate right now. It's Brandon Pfaadt. He could easily get smashed today, but I'm willing to avoid the Yankees and pick up some of these better offenses.
I don't mind Austin Wells, cheap catcher. Lefty has been hitting in good lineup spots for the Yankees. So, like, I don't mind Wells if he cracks the lineup here. I mean, this is a guy they've been hitting him like fourth. Like, if we have to kind of respect where they've been hitting him here. So I'm going to respect it and have a little bit of interest here in Wells. All right, now we'll go talk about your Braves. They're having a phenomenal year. We got Atlanta at Washington, 9.5 total. Braves a 260 favorite. Charlie Morton and Patrick Corbin facing off against each other in this one. Charlie Morton's 9,900. Do we have any interest in Morton here?
I'm going to avoid Charlie today. Once again, man, I know Washington hasn't been the same. We saw Max Fried come in and have an amazing performance, but I think at this point in his career, Fried is much better than Charlie Morton in a vacuum. And so for me, I'm going to avoid Morton here. It's just a price. If he was 8,500-ish, I think I'd be into it. At about 10K, if he has a good game, great. I'll live with it, but I'm willing to take the fade here against Washington.
Yeah, I mean, Washington lineup right now definitely has a little bit more strikeouts in it with some of the call-ups, but they're still a pretty low strikeout team for Morton to be this price. Like, we need Charlie Morton to go out and not only throw like 5 or 6 really good innings, we need him to have that like 7-8 strikeout type game. So, and like, it is that time of the year where I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm like, if he's in the 5th or 6th inning here and he's at like 87, 88 pitches, like, are they letting him go back out? Like,
if we're up, I don't see why.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Atlanta is so good right now, playoff wise. They're 4 games up on the Dodgers for the best record in the NL, and they've clinched the division on the Phillies. My thing is, like, in the back of my mind, I'm just like thinking about how worrisome it is. Like, if he does get to that mark, right? He's at 85, 86, 87 pitches, 88 pitches, and like, he's through 5. Are they really letting him come out in the 6th? That's my only concern with really any of the teams that are sitting pretty right now. I'm not playing Patrick Corbin on the other side of this game. He has done a better job of limiting home runs recently, but not today.
No, I don't. I mean, this is not a Patrick Corbin spot in any sense of the word. And now that I'm saying that, the Braves are probably going to come out here and just be idiots and not score any runs. I'm kidding. I'm expecting him to have a good day. So Corbin, we're not playing Patrick Corbin.
Not even like remotely thinking about it.
No.
Like, this is one of those slates that if Patrick Corbin goes bonkers, I'm just going to lose.
Yeah.
Like, that's just how I'm looking at it. So easy fade for me on Corbin. Love the spot for the Braves. I think they're one of, if not the top stack on the slate. They're just expensive. So, you just kind of hope maybe we get a couple cheap bats that crack the lineup for Atlanta today. Arcia is not overly expensive. If d'Arnaud catches, he's not overly expensive. So, I mean, overall, I think that Atlanta, if you can make it work, they're fantastic. It's just, salary cap wise is always the tough part with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got Acuna here 6,800. Now, I will say, once again, I don't mind the bottom of the order here, and we're getting, because today we'll have Ozuna. I wonder if Pilar's going to bat today since we got a lefty early. He's 3K. We should get RC at 3,700. He should crack the lineup because we have a right. So we'll have some cheapies at the bottom of the order. And the thing is, Stevie, all of these guys are fairly low strikeout guys. So we'll have some shots to maybe wrap around to Acuna if we kind of want to do something like that. So I like this spot for the bottom of the order Braves, which is kind of a part of what I've been playing all season, getting that bottom of the order and then, wrapping it around.
Hot take. I think Ozuna is the best play for the Braves today.
Yeah, love Ozuna. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. 370 ISO against left-handed pitching this season. The closest person to him is Austin Riley. Orlando Arcia has a 325 ISO against left-handed pitching. I still can't wrap my head around Arcia being a power guy, but he does have 17 home runs on the season, so we got to respect that as well. So you can get creative with your Brave stack today. That's kind of what Will was talking about. So moving on, we got Mets at Philadelphia taking on the Phillies. McGill against Walker, but I don't know what to think of McGill. How deep he'll go. 9 total. Phillies a 160 favorite. Any interest here in Taylor McGill?
No.
Yeah, he threw 90. He's thrown 90 pitches plus in 4 of his last 5 starts. It's just I don't know if I trust it.
And the Phillies, man.
They're still playing for something too.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I can't. Man.
Yeah, I don't think I can go McGill here. I don't necessarily love Tajon Walker.
Nope.
The last real good game that Tajon Walker threw was the beginning of July. He's had some recent struggles. I will say, pitch count wise, he's gone over 100 pitches in 3 straight, and they've kind of really let him go deep into games. So offers a little bit of upside there, but still overall, just not a spot I want to play him.
Yeah, we can call the Mets gutless. I think that's been the theme around this team. We can call them gutless all they want. Taijuan Walker's just not – he just doesn't have the strikeout stuff. But Stevie, here's what I will say. Seriously, for him, just making it through this season has been good. He hasn't made it through a full season in probably, I would say 3 or 4 seasons, Stevie. I think that's accurate. So him just making it through a season, this is good progress for him.
Yeah.
So from a real life perspective, congrats, man. This is great. And then maybe next year he comes back stronger and better, but I still don't want to play him today.
Yeah, I love that. Love that that thought and process there. So Mets bats against Walker. I think overall, you can always play Alonso and Lindor. Nimmo has had a really quiet but really solid season.
Absolutely. I feel like he's one of the guys that's going to be out the door soon. A quality bat that leaves and goes to Milwaukee.
But if you're in this organization and you look at your lineup that's around you, you're man, we should be better than where we are. They're in a tough division.
They are.
Which is not something we say a lot for the National League. The Marlins have been shockingly really good this year. The Phillies, we know how good they are. Obviously, they have to play the Braves, but the Mets are just in a tough position.
Yeah, the Marlins. So, and I know we got to move, but I feel like the Marlins were better because they sneakily went out and got these good veterans and put them with these young guys, and all of a sudden you looked around and when you've got to deal with Bell, who came late, you've got to deal with. Earlier in the season, you had to deal with Gene Segura. You had it's just they had these quality veteran bats with these young high strikeout guys. It just worked, and so just tough spot.
Philadelphia bats here. I definitely have no issues attacking Taylor McGill. Looking at his season numbers here, low strikeout guy, high walks, high WOBA, a lot of hard contact. He's been pitching better recently. but I still think this is a spot like the full Phillies stack is very much in play today.
Yeah, absolutely. Love the Phillies. Said Nick Castellanos has been hot the past couple days. I think he hit 2 home runs at least one of these days.
He crushed the ball on Thursday night.
Yeah, playing Atlanta. I think he's playing Atlanta the day before. But yeah, love that. Like I said, really like this team as a whole. Harper's 59 is a back under 6K. I think this is a good quality stack, Stevie. Especially being at home, like good hitters part. Still got something to play for. I like this spot for them big time.
Still have something to play for. Something you're going to hear a lot on the morning grind over the next week or two. So if you like a drinking game, you're welcome. White Sox, Red Sox, Sale and Tuki Toussaint is what it looks like here. 9.5 total. The Red Sox a 225 favorite here. Let's talk Chris Sale. Or Tuki Toussaint. Sorry, I said them backwards, but yes, White Sox on the road in Fenway. Any interest here at Tuki Toussaint at 6,300?
Tuki's been okay, but I still don't want to do it against Boston, man. If any of these good hitters are out there, like he's going to be in a world of trouble. So I'm going to fade Tuki today.
Tough matchup against the Red Sox. I will say, like, check the umpire, check the lineup.
Yeah, if they have rolled out some weird ones from time to time here recently.
Yeah, like if Tuki is going to get, if he's going to get a good umpire, that gives him a bump. So I don't hate it, but I don't necessarily love it. Let's talk about Chris Sale on the other side of this game. 81 pitches last time out, 10 strikeouts against Toronto. The White Sox team strike out with the best of them. I don't know if he gets more than like 85 pitches here down the stretch. He's 9,200. Can we play 80 to 85 pitch Sale at 9,200 in this matchup?
I think if you do, you're hoping for like the most optimal performance that he had like the last time. And while we know he has strikeout stuff, we can't completely bank on that in 80 pitches. So at 9,200, I think in large field tournaments, I take a shot, but it's definitely not something I would do in single entry. Not me personally.
I mean, I think his ceiling is high enough to take some shots. If he does get like those extra 10 pitches, his ceiling is even higher. So I don't mind him in large field tournaments. I can say, like, outside of maybe Robert, I'm probably not touching the White Sox. And like Luis Robert has been crushing the ball recently. So that's the only reason I have some interest in him. But I definitely respect Sale here.
Yep.
Do you have any interest in the White Sox bats, Will?
No.
Okay.
I'm not playing the White Sox right now. It's just bad.
Let's talk Red Sox bats here. Any interest here against Tuki Toussaint?
As long as the lineup comes out normal, like, I don't mind playing Verdugo, Yoshida, Devers. I don't mind playing Duvall. The prices have really come down on these guys, Stevie. So that's another reason why, like, even Devers is 5,200. Like, this is a 58, 59, 6K bat that we're getting a pretty good discount on because we're down to the bottom of the season. And, they kind of don't care as much as they did. But if they're going to give us price discounts against a pitcher that walks a lot of guys and is going to give up hard contact, I'm in. So I like this team.
Yeah, definitely prefer the lefties in this matchup. Like, Toussaint has actually been really solid against righties, but he just continues to massively struggle with lefties. So love the Devers call, Yoshida, Verdugo. I don't know if I full stack them in this spot, but I do think they're very playable. If Abreu, I know he's dealing with like a hand injury. If he plays, he's 3,300. I wouldn't mind getting some exposure to him, but I definitely prefer the lefties today for Boston. I think it's a good spot. Tuki Toussaint, like, he struggles so much with locating the pitches against left-handed hitters that, like, you get walks, you have just one or two bad pitches that turn into big hits. And this game's in Fenway. You never hate a game in Fenway. So All right, we got Baltimore at Cleveland, 8 total in this game. Slight favorite to Baltimore at minus 116 here. Kramer and Bieber. Any interest here in Kramer?
No.
I'm saying it backwards.
Yeah,
Anyway.
it's all good. Yeah, no interest in Kramer. I know Cleveland isn't rolling out like their creme de la creme lineup either, but once again, they still got a fair amount of low strikeout guys. And Kramer, listen, the Baltimore pitching staff, these young guys have been good most of the year. Kramer is a guy that's kind of struggled a little bit more down the stretch. So at 8,700, facing a low strikeout offense, I think I'm going to take the fade here.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned on the podcast yesterday, Grayson Rodriguez was my favorite play. He pitched okay. Like he didn't have that big game, but he had 7 strikeouts in 5 innings. He had 1 or 2 things kind of go against him, but I actually kind of like Kramer a lot in this spot. I don't think the Cleveland lineup's good. I've been saying it a lot. I wish he was cheaper. I don't know if I get to him today, but I do think if you're playing anything more than 3 teams, you definitely want to get some exposure to Kramer.
Yeah.
Shane Bieber on the other side of this game, it's a 60-day IL. They already announced that he's not going to likely throw more than 80 pitches in this start. Baltimore's a tough team. I think everything is going against my my Shane Bieber love here.
Yeah, he's completely getting the fade, Stevie. There's no way I play him in this spot. No way.
Yeah, I mean, Baltimore is a team that I'd love to play. I think their offense is a lot better than they get credit for. Looking at these bats, I mean, Bieber is tough. When he's on, he's really good. I think it'd be a stack or fade spot for me today for Baltimore. I don't think I'm going to try to piece off one-offs here. I'm going to play Henderson. I'm going to play Rutschman, Santander, O'Hearn, Mullins. I'm going to play these lefties in this spot because I think the lefties excel if Bieber is not fully right yet.
Yeah, I'm going to fade Bieber here because of the IL situation. I'm with you. I'm in on the Baltimore stat. I mean, look, we've got Mullins as the most expensive outfielder currently, which is interesting. But 4,500 for him, 44 for Santander. We'll get a chance to get some Gunnar Henderson at 5,500 if you decide to go that direction. We've got Rutschman at 51. I think there's enough quality bats in this lineup where they aren't crazy expensive to really be able to build. I think O'Hearn is probably going to crack the lineup today as well. At least I think he will, since they're facing the righty. So at 3,700, I'm in on him as well. It's a really good quality lineup for a good balanced price.
Any interest in the Cleveland side of this game?
As crazy as it sounds, Stevie, no. I don't really want to play Kramer, but I don't really want to play Cleveland. I just don't think they have enough upside overall to get us where we want to be on such a big slate.
I don't think it's crazy at all. And I keep saying this. I feel like one-offing Jose Ramirez is so tough because he's so expensive. I will say, when Kramer has struggled, it's definitely been more against lefties than righties. So, if you wanted to build out a Ramirez, Naylor, Cole Calhoun type of 3-man, I don't hate that idea, but it's probably not a spot that I get a lot or if any exposure to on the slate.
Yeah.
Because people love playing Cleveland still. Their ownership continues to be high. People love playing Cleveland. People love playing Jose Ramirez. People love playing Jose Ramirez. And I get it. He's really talented. Never said he's not talented. I hate the price for a one-off.
If you stuck Ronald Acuna on this team, he'd be 6K in the rest of. I mean, how could you keep playing Ronald Acuna with no rim protection? It'd be crazy. Even though Acuna can steal and do all those other things, I get it.
You stick Ronald Acuna on this team with Jose Ramirez. Now we're talking.
Yeah. No, seriously, that's a totally different ball game. Absolutely.
Will's nobody's getting my boy. Ronald Acuna ain't going nowhere. Seattle at Texas, 9 total in this game. The Rangers are 125 favorite. We have Miller and Dunning. Any interest here in Bryce Miller?
No, not against Texas. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I think Bryce Miller is a talented young pitcher. I think this is a really tough spot. So I'm with you. Dane Dunning on the other side of this game. Seattle, I mean, they can strike out with the best of them. If Dunning was like 6,500 here, it would be a conversation for me. But like, I feel like Dane Dunning's just too priced up, and it's crazy. He's only like 8K. But I need Dunning a lot cheaper for me to have interest in this spot because I mean, Dunning's not going to go out and throw the ball by anybody. He has a 20% K rate. He doesn't generate a lot of swinging strikes. Like, he's not going to go out and throw the ball by a lot of people. And you got to be able to attack this offense.
Yeah, absolutely. At 7,900 against Seattle, what I will say is I don't mind taking some shots at this price, but I'm not single entry, not 3-entry max, only large field tournaments.
All right, let's talk Seattle bats here. Obviously, I have interest in Julio, Cal Riley, Teoscar Hernandez. Kelnick being back is huge for this team overall. Yeah. I mean, probably more of like a secondary stack, but again, a team that I think you can look at on this slate is the Seattle Bats.
Yeah, absolutely. I even think, even though Crawford hasn't been exceptional this season overall, like down the stretch here recently, he's been really good, having a guy that doesn't strike out too much to kind of balance out some of these power bats. So I would include him in the mix as well if I decide to stack this team.
Any interest in the Texas bats here against Miller?
Yeah, plenty. Texas to me has been like Atlanta in a sense, like Texas, Houston, Atlanta. To me, those have been teams that you just kind of stack them every day. Like Stevie, one day they ran off for about 14 runs against an okay pitcher, right? Like, so I think that's just kind of how you have to handle this team. Corey Seager has been elite. Simeon's been elite. Garcia's, Dallas has still been hitting for tons of power. So, give me this team any day of the week. Robbie Goldschmidt got scratched the other day, but at 3K, if he's going to be in the lineup, I don't hate him. Tavares has been in the lineup. I don't hate him. Garver's been in the lineup a lot. I don't hate him. Like, just overall, this team has been good.
I will say the only thing that somewhat concerns me is like Texas can't get super left-handed here. And like Miller has been way above average against righties. He's been below average against lefties. Like, I mean, so like obviously you want to stack Seager and you probably put like Garcia in your stack and then low, and then trying to find those other two pieces that you feel comfortable with Texas is the interesting part. But yeah, I mean, I think Seager is one of the top hitters on the entire slate. Very, very much interested in Corey Seager today.
Absolutely.
All right, Angels at Minnesota taking on the Twins. 8.5 total in this game. Twins a 290 favorites. We have Daniel against Lopez. Any interest here in Davis Daniel?
No. Not today.
Yeah, I mean, I think overall this is just one of those spots where Davis Daniel is going to come in and throw 60 to 75 pitches. And they're just going to try to get some bulk innings out of him. Like, we love pitchers against Minnesota. And, I mean, their lineup is, I mean, now Lewis is banged up too. He's dealing with like a hamstring injury. They did say like Byron Buxton's like going down and like playing some AAA games. So I wouldn't necessarily be shocked if he gets activated to play in this game. Like, I mean, Twins, you're in a really good spot right now. Like, as far as like the AL Central is concerned.
Yeah.
I feel like you need to be careful rushing back like Buxton and Correa. But I think Correa, like, everything looks really good for him to be activated like right before the season ends next week. But yeah, I mean, overall, I don't have interest in Daniel. Any interest here in Pablo Lopez?
Tons. The Angels, Stevie,
Trash.
are the new Minnesota.
Trash.
I mean, Stevie, I feel like I've watched every pitcher they've faced recently pick up at least 7 strikeouts. At least. We saw, and look, they knocked Zach Eflin around a little bit today. He still had 9 strikeouts. 9 or 10.
He had
10.
10.
Yes, thank you. 10. I can't in good conscience tell anyone to fade Pablo even at 10-7. Like Pablo could, and I don't expect Pablo to get touched up like Eflin did. You get what I'm like? I'm expecting him to keep the ball on the ball on the ground a little bit more. Pablo's this might be the best spot he's had in weeks. I mean, he's faced the White Sox, the Mets, Cleveland, Texas. This is the best spot he's had in 5 starts, 6 starts. He's a top pitcher on the slate for me. I feel like today is the day to pay the price. He could have 12 strikeouts here, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Oh yeah, he could have a really big game here. Big game. Like he's equal, if not a little bit better than Zach Eflin, and like Eflin just mowed through this team, like you were talking about, and like I mean, it's a lineup that is without their 2 best hitters. I mean, arguably without their 3 best hitters. So yeah, I mean, no real upside. Like bats wise, like are you playing any of these Angels bats today?
No, not a one.
Yeah, I'm out. Oh, do you have any interest in the Minnesota side?
Nope. I mean, they're playing Daniel. I think they can score some runs. Don't get me wrong. But generally speaking, is this team going to beat me in a tournament today? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I feel like if you wanted to go Julian Kepler and find a third piece to make a little stack, I don't necessarily think me or anyone else would talk you out of that.
Yeah.
Kansas City at Houston. Reagans and Valdez facing off against each other. 8 total. Astros a 240 favorite in this game. I mean, DFS second half MVP, Cole Reagans. Come at me if you want to argue with me. Bring it on. I will lay it down on you. This guy has been phenomenal.
Really good. And he's been too cheap most of the – like he's more expensive against Houston than he was against the White Sox or some of these other bad teams.
I am a huge fan. I don't think we can play him in this spot against Houston.
No, yeah. I don't play anybody against Houston, so he's definitely going to be sitting on the shelf.
If he comes in at like 5% projected ownership, I'll probably talk myself into playing him on one of my 3 teams just because I'm crazy. I just want to throw that like disclaimer out there.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like he just faced this team and had 7 strikeouts and gave up some runs in that game. Like,
and that's the issue. He's probably going to give up runs. Houston is smoking.
Bet on the talent, man. That's all I'm doing with playing some Reagans. Framber Valdez should have a really good outing in this spot. Do you have any interest in him?
I feel like I want to go all in on Pablo. In tournaments, I think he's okay. Like you said, I think Framber has a solid outing, Stevie, and I'm with you. He has a solid outing, but I just think Pablo's like the best play out of this upper tier group today. So I think I'm going to fade Framber on that notion, and if I get burned by Pablo, I get burned. But I don't want to double. I don't want to play 2 big guys today. I want to play 1.
Yeah, I mean, going back to like the standings talk, right? Like the AL West is just wild right now. How close this is. So like Valdez might be on the other side of that conversation where if he's pitching really well in the 7th or 8th inning, they might let him go an extra 10 pitches or so. So, yeah, I mean, I think Valdez is in play. I'm with you. I like Lopez more, but I think he's in play. As far as the Kansas City bats, I have no interest in Kansas City today.
Nope. Negative.
The Houston side of this game, Brantley's banged up right now. If Chas McCormick cracks the lineup, he's been phenomenal against left-handed pitching this season. I don't think I would stack Houston today. I mean, maybe take a shot on like I said, a McCormick, maybe like a Jeremy Pena, but I still respect the talent of Cole Reagans.
Yeah, same here. I still don't hate some of these bigger bats, but I don't want to stack Houston today, even though I take it back, Stevie. I don't want to stack them in single entry, 3-entry max. In large field tournaments, I stack Houston every day. Tucker, Alvarez, they're too good, and you don't know when they're actually going to go off. Like they could go off against anyone, and so if Reagan's kind of gets in some jams here, he can't really pitch around this team too much. So I'm just stacking them because they're good, not because I think they're going to score 15 runs today.
Fair enough. Detroit at Oakland. This is a series. There's pitchers throwing, there's hitters hitting. Waldichuk against Gibson Lewis. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Any interest here in Gibson Long? Not Lewis. I said Lewis. It's Gibson Long.
I think I have to have some interest, Stevie. So what I'm looking at, Stevie, is the trajectory of the pitches. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be in the 90s, but 73 to start against the White Sox, 82 to start against the Angels. I'm expecting him to go maybe slightly over 90 pitches, and he's had bad matchups, 5 strikeouts against the White Sox, 11 against the Angels. I think he can pick up 5 to 6 strikeouts against Oakland and hopefully limit the damage, Stevie. At 7,700, we were talking about me not wanting to kind of double spin. This is why Gibson Long, he's on my list. He might be my favorite tournament pitcher. It's a really good spot for him.
There's junk, man. So he has quickly shot up like prospect boards for next year. He wasn't someone that was like a huge prospect coming into this season, but he has jumped up boards big time. 34 innings in AAA. He got called up to AAA towards the end of the year-ish. And 50 strikeouts in 34 innings. He had 76 strikeouts in 65 innings in AA this season. His swinging strike rate, AA 15%, AAA 14.8. His 2 major league starts, 21.3. Throws junk. Slider, changeup, sinker. Hardly ever throws a fastball. It's Oakland. I mean, if you're a young pitcher trying to prove yourself, like you can't get more excited than getting a matchup with Oakland. So,
yeah.
I mean, I read about this guy a few weeks ago, was interested if they were going to call him up or if we weren't going to see him till next year. But yeah, Sawyer, Gibson Long, very, very interesting like play here on the slate.
Yep.
Love. Yeah. I hope like, because he's not like 5,700, his ownership stays down a little bit, but everyone can kind of see what he did against the Angels last time out and know that this is a high upside spot.
And the White Sox in 72 pitches, like that was good too. 5 Ks.
I kind of like Ken Waldichuk on the other side of this game. It sounds dirty, but I mean, I think there's a little bit of upside here for Waldichuk against Detroit. Like the price is nice. Just looking at what their lineup looks like against left-handed pitching, I mean, you're probably just fading like 2 or 3 decent bats. I think Waldichuk could have a really solid game for this price point.
Yeah, I don't hate rolling him out in tournaments either. Like, look, Detroit's not some juggernaut offense. Do I think they're better than Oakland? Probably a little bit, but I'm not. I don't think this team is going to be crushing it. So I don't mind that call at all. Don't mind that call at all.
Need one more Waller catch. And
well,
I'll have it.
Yeah, I do too, but I need it for like give me one for 6 or 7 yards, not 3 yards. Like, please, buddy, please, Stevie. If we get that, I'm starting to feel real good about my day.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good day for me if I get that too. Got a couple 5 for 5s that need one more catch from Waller. So
yeah,
wouldn't hurt my feelings if he got one more catch. For what all right, bats in this game. I don't typically like one-off first basemans, but I think Torkelson has 2 home run upside in this matchup. He is just absolutely.
I like that. I love that call. Yes,
crush left-handed pitching this season.
Yeah, I like that call, Stevie. That's probably a good one-off. Like nobody's going to be playing Torkelson on this late slate, or like on this slate just in general. I like that call. I really wasn't going to be too interested in playing some guys from Detroit.
Oh, Waller, you got to catch that. Oh, anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
I try to mute my mic but man, you got to catch that ball. Not just because I needed that catch, but you got to catch that. Yeah, everybody agrees with you, Todd in chat. Scoville over 6.5, and we're happy. Yeah, we're all rooting for that one.
Yeah,
I think.
But I need one more catch from Waller. I think he's got 20 yards receiving. I need him over 25 yards.
He should have caught that ball.
And that would have been the yards in the catch. And
yep.
see, it's like, come on, man.
It would have been about 11 yards.
Oh, don't tell me
that. Hit his hands too. You got to catch those. For what it's worth, I think that Andy Ibanez is interesting at 2,800 as well. He's been great against left-handed pitching this season and last year, and pretty much throughout his career. So, Oakland bats. Any interest in the Oakland bats here?
No.
Yeah, I believe in the talent. If he does get like super chalky, maybe I make like a little 4-man stack with like Seth Brown, Geloff, Roker. Not it would be a cheap stack. You could get pitching. You could like pair them maybe with like Atlanta to make an Atlanta stack different. It'd be interesting to see what kind of ownership Gibson Long gets today.
Yep, absolutely.
St. Louis at San Diego, 9 total. Padres a 142 favorite. Hudson against Waldron in this one. Any interest here in Dakota Hudson?
No. and I know that people have been saying San Diego is also gutless, but I'm not taking Hudson against this team.
His pitch counts all over the place too. When he gets in trouble, they're quick to pull him. He's not really going deep into games. St. Louis is on cruise control to get this season finished. It's been a bad year for them. Matt Waldron on the other side, 7,300. Any interest here in Waldron?
No. I mean, St. Louis is scuffling too, but I'm going to fade Waldron here. I'm kind of putting all my eggs in one basket today, Stevie. Like I'm probably going to have so much exposure to Pablo and Gibson Long. Like if they fail, I just failed today. I'm going to have massive exposure to those two guys.
He hasn't shown like big strikeout upside, which is a little concerning for me. Like he's been like slightly below average strikeout wise. Like looking at his numbers, 15.7% K rate, and like he does give up a lot of hard contact. Doesn't generate a lot of whiffs outside the zone. So I mean, yeah, I don't think this is a spot for Waldron. I think like there'll be people that will say like St. Louis just doesn't care and maybe we take shots on him, but I'm going to probably pass on him today. As far as the Cardinals bats, I mean, Edman and Nootbaar definitely in play for me today. I think both of these guys have some upside in this matchup.
Yes.
I would probably look to find like a third piece to pair with them. They had Juan Yepes back in the lineup, and I think he was hitting like 4th or 5th from what I remember. So like he's 2,500. He has power upside. So yeah, I mean, just kind of looking for some upside to pair with those two lefties up towards the top of the lineup.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Edman Nootbaar, I love that call. Man, this is one of those spots where I just wish Gorman was in the lineup too. Like him and it just would have been great, but unfortunately, we're not going to have access to those guys. I still don't hate Goldie here. Still don't hate Arenado. They're still cheap enough in the low 5s that we can get those guys in some lineups. So I don't mind a mini St. Louis stack here. Maybe something like Nootbaar, Edman, Goldie, Nootbaar, Edman, Arenado, something like that. Yeah, so I'm in.
Padres bats. I mean, Hudson's hittable.
Yeah,
you never know what you're going to get from this Padres lineup, so I think it's a full stack for me.
Yeah, absolutely. So Profar has been leading off with Kim hurt or Kim out of the lineup, and so at 3,100, like being able to get him in now, along with some of these big bets is good. He hasn't been crazy productive, but I'm okay with that. Like just being able to get a stack against Hudson is good enough for me. Soto should be able to rack up fantasy points here between walks and singles and doubles. If he hits a home run, great. But I'm expecting Soto to almost have one of those fantasy points in 3 out of 4 plate appearances, 4 out of 5 plate appearances, so forth and so on.
All right, moving on. We have the Giants and the Dodgers finishing this out here. No total in this game. I mean, there is a mixed review of like speculation here on like who's going to actually pitch for the Dodgers today. So we'll see. I've seen multiple reports saying Gavin Stone, but he's not typically someone that pitches on 5 days. So let's wait and see before we start talking about that. Any interest in Manaea at 5,800 against the Dodgers?
No, I mean, unless they just roll out the most pitiful lineup. And the Dodgers have been rolling out some weird ones, but even still, I'm not playing Sean Manaea.
That lineup would have to be really bad.
Yeah.
With a lot of like the lefties still in there. Like they would have to give like Will Smith, Mookie Betts, JD Martinez the day off and leave the lefties in there for me to have interest in Sean Manaea.
And even if they didn't, like Stevie, even if they rolled out Peralta, Hayward, Chris Taylor, they'd still have a quality. Like that's what's crazy about this. They can roll out those guys, Outman, the whole 9, and I still wouldn't play Sean Manaea today. I still wouldn't do it.
All right, let's talk bats. It's tough to talk to Giants bats, man.
Yeah.
Like, what are your general thoughts? The pinch hitting is obviously concerning, but like Peterson, Haniger, JD Davis, they're cheap. So like if you do get like a below average or average pitcher, the Giants are on the road. And I mean, some of these like hitters at the top of the lineup are cheap. So I wouldn't maybe necessarily mind looking at them as like a secondary stack.
Yeah. But who are they going to play? Like I don't know. And then what if Gavin Stone doesn't pitch? I mean, I think they still probably see a righty. Either way, they're going to platoon these guys anyway. But I mean, Jock's 39, Yaz is 38. Like, you're right, man. They're just cheap.
That's the interest.
Like at this point, everybody being pretty much under 4K almost is probably worth the pinch hit risk if they score the runs early. So I don't hate that. Yeah, I need CMC too. I need CMC to get 2 more carries, Stevie.
Yeah, he hasn't been on the field here a ton in the last two possessions. I don't know.
Carries.
I didn't know if there was like something because like obviously I don't have sound on, so I didn't know if there was like something with Christian McCaffrey or not.
And they're continuing to throw the ball, like hand it off. Just hand it off to McCaffrey for 2 times, Stevie, so I can get my 17 carries. I took him over 16.5. Jeez. All
right. Dodgers bats against Manaea. Like I don't think they're going to rest guys here. So I mean Betts, JD Smith, top of the list, and then you get some value here with Rosario, Taylor, Kiki Hernandez, depending on like who cracks the lineup. But yeah, I think the Dodgers are in play against Manaea. Manaea struggles with command from time to time. So you can't do that against the Dodgers.
Yeah, this team, Stevie, like it really doesn't matter who's pitching. And so I don't even, like I said, I don't even mind the lefties. Like if we're going to get Freddie, I'm in. Like he's 6K, don't care. Give me Betts. JD should play. I'm assuming Chris Taylor's going to play and Kiki. So, I mean, we're going to have some advantageous guys. Rosario probably plays or Rojas or both. So I want to see what the lineup is, but there's going to be crazy cheap guys to plug in around Mookie and Freeman today and Will Smith. And that's going to be great for us.
You just got one of your carries for what it's worth.
Oh, good.
All right, let's play the morning grind game, and then we'll finish sweating out some of these pick'em plays and fantasy pick'em and DFS showdown. And yeah, Deebo Samuel back in the game. Love to see that because I did not want to see Deebo hurt, man. That guy is special. You just got your other carry. There you go. You got your 2 carries. So
guess what?
Happy man.
That's a 10x tonight.
There you go. Done.
Woo! Listen.
All right, man. Let's 10x this morning grind game. Under 8K. to get 6 or more strikeouts. Who do you got?
Give me my boy Gibson Long.
Yep. I'm gonna stay in that same game and go Waldichuk. I do think like if you want a large field tournament play today that I think does have some upside, I really do think Brandon Fiat is super interesting. That like no one, I don't think anyone's going to play him today. So just throwing that out there. Over 8K to score under 15. Who is your bust at the top today?
Give me, and I think there's a lot of options, Stevie, that we have. Give me Shane Bieber coming out the IL. I think that's the low-hanging fruit today.
Yeah, they already announced like 80 pitches. Max. So I'm with you on that. I typically like to go to the top, but I don't think any of these top guys kind of fail today. So I'm going to go Bryce Miller against a tough Texas lineup today.
Yep, like it.
Over 4K to hit a home run. Who's going yard today?
We've got a lot of guys here that I really like. Give me Corbin Carroll. Yankee Stadium.
Love that one. Love that one. So I'm going to hope the Philly bats stay hot here. Give me Kyle Schwarber against Taylor McGill.
Like it.
Under 4K to get 2 hits. Give me a guy that you like to get 2 hits today.
Give me Orlando Arcia. Bottom of the lineup. Nobody's going to play him today. Good spot against Corbin. So, yeah, I'm in.
I'm going to go Kelnick. Back in the lineup after missing quite a bit of time, and I think this is a great spot. They're still throwing. Like, he just threw a touchdown to Devo, and they're still throwing. They have no issues throwing up 11. You'd love to see this from the San Francisco offense. All right, final question here. Stack to score 6 or more runs. Who do you got?
I'm not going to go with the Braves, Stevie, because I think that one is easy. Give me the Phillies at home.
Yeah, I love that. I'm going to go Arizona today. I think this is a great spot. Luke Weaver has been struggling. Great ballpark. Give me the Diamondbacks to get the job done today. Will, any final thoughts before we get out of here? We resume next week for the last regular season week of baseball. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
Nah, man. I'm just glad to have been able to come on with you and serve with you through the tumultuous MLB season, and I love what we do, man. And so thank you all for listening, and thanks for having me on always, man. Appreciate it.
All right, I'm going to go sweat the last few bit of this game. I need one more Darren Waller catch. That's all I need. Just one more.
And he better get it. They better just keep throwing the ball and make completions. Like, come on, guys. Like, don't do this.
Go get me my one more catch. Do your thing. All right. Hope everyone has a fantastic weekend. We'll be back Monday talking baseball. I think we have a really small slate Monday. Have a great one. We'll see you again Monday.